Welcome back, it's week 2 and you are listening to YPod. Once again, I am Adi and I'm joined by Gareth.
Hello Adrian. Hello world.
Welcome back, Gareth. It's been a good week.
Yes.
And just thank you to everybody who listened to the podcast last week. If you've not listened to it, go back. I'm sure you can find last week's episode. Thank you for everybody joining on the hashtag YPod. Excellent stuff. Just want to address something before we get into the business today of the show. We've got a few messages from friends and colleagues around the world saying, you guys should be careful. You're using your voices, you're speaking about things, and you could potentially ruin your careers. Well, me and Gareth were laughing about this because that would actually imply we had careers to ruin. So thank you very much for those messages of support. But the whole point of this podcast is to echo the movement and echo people's stories, their opinions, their projects, their feelings. And it's not always, it's not always stuff we want to hear, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be heard. So again, this podcast is just an online digital space for people to interact. And if anything that you hear you don't agree with or offends you, then you always have that option to turn off. Is that fair, Gareth?
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that totally.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to move on now to 60-second movement. And last week, Gareth, you let down the people of New Zealand.
Badly.
I mean, they didn't complain much over social media, but maybe they were just too outraged to actually send forward those tweets and messages. You ruined your career in New Zealand.
My chances of going up to the big league and going working for YMCA New Zealand is in tatters. I genuinely thought I'd have a choice of, North Island or South Island. Well, I've got a chance now of just no islands.
Well, last week, if you were listening last week, Gareth ran out of time. That klaxon just overruled everything he was saying. And I challenged him to this week speak about the YMCA of the USA for 60 seconds. So how are you feeling, Gareth? Confident?
More confident.
Good stuff. So let me set 60 seconds on the clock. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm always ready, Adrian. I was born ready.
Okay, and your time starts now.
USA, the land of the free, the home of the brave. YMCA USA was founded in 1851 and became a full founding member of the World Alliance in 1855. The first YMCA was in Boston, founded by a missionary called Thomas Valentine Sullivan. 1 out of every 3 Americans have at one stage or another been a member of the YMCA, they claim. YMCA USA has given us basketball, volleyball, racquetball, as well as helping the foundation of other organisations, including the Gideons, which I had their first meeting in Wisconsin YMCA in 1899. They're known for providing war support from the American Civil War to the present for the soldiers at home and abroad. When the people were on the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America. The YMCA in the USA was there to offer support, including interest and any assistance the new arrivals needed. There are now over 2,400 YMCAs across the USA, working to meet the needs of 17.5 million people in 10,000 neighbourhoods. With claims to never turn people... Oh, this is so hard to talk about movements in 60 seconds.
Pretty much is. It's called the 60-second cell.
YMCA USA, I apologise. Great.
So not only have we got the people of New Zealand disappointed with you, you now upset the USA.
Yes, and to say this is the USA YMCA does a lot. There's leadership and education programs that it provide, the sports, the camps, the healthy living. But you can read about it all on Facebook, YMCA, and they're on Twitter at YMCA. And again, I'm very sorry to the United States.
No, I mean, this is what happens when you walk around the movement, pretending to be an expert. Some people are going to challenge you on that.
I wouldn't say I was a YMCA expert.
Not after these last 2 weeks.
It's just so hard. You don't understand what these YMCAs do.
No,
well,
and thank you for that. Thank you for that, Gareth. Did a great job. If anything Gareth said was incorrect, or you want to add a little bit more, please take to Twitter #YPod and send in and help him out because he needs some more snappy facts for his 60-second movement. How about then I give you an easier movement well, maybe not an easier movement, but a different movement for next week.
Please.
Let's go for Madagascar. How about that?
You think Madagascar is easier? Bless you. Bless you. Right, okay. Madagascar next week.
We will see. We'll see. So, again, that brings the end to the 60-second movement segment. And Gareth, what have we got coming up next?
Coming up next, like last week, we're going to have an interview with someone from the YMCA movement, and we're going to give someone the opportunity to tell us their story. So the interview this week is going to come from Alvin, who's with YMCA Hong Kong, and I'm going to ask Cain from Australia to provide us with his story, and they are coming up after this.
Hi, I'm Sergio from Greece, and you're listening to YPod.
Today I am joined by Alvin from Hong Kong, and we're just going to have a quick conversation about what the YMCA in Hong Kong is doing and also how it is empowering young people. So, hello Alvin, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
everybody. Great.
And how's your day going?
Wow, a busy day. We have a lot of work to do in the YMCA.
That's good. So, Alvin, just for the listeners, can you tell people what your role is in the YMCA of Hong Kong?
So in the YMCA of Hong Kong, I'm a volunteer. So I have been a volunteer of the YMCA of Hong Kong for over 15 years, since I was really small. Later, I started the university club that we call the Campus YMCA in Hong Kong. And my role now is to be an advisor in the Campus YMCA Alumni Network. That is an organization for students or for graduates to join after we graduate. And also I'm a mentor in another program where I mentor another student in Hong Kong who come from underprivileged family.
Wow, that's
That's
fantastic.
mainly my role.
No, fantastic that, Alvin. And you're also one of the change agents?
Yes.
And people might recognize you. You actually opened the Prague Festival, didn't you, last summer?
Oh, yes. I was quite nervous on the stage.
Did a fantastic job, and people can see that video on the World Alliance YouTube page. So go and check Alvin out opening the YMCA conference. It was fantastic. Well, today what we're going to talk about is just a little bit more about what YMCA of Hong Kong is doing to empower young people. So I guess my first question, Alvin, is what does youth empowerment mean to you?
Well, youth empowerment means really a lot of things. First of all, it's a platform for young people to do whatever we want. It means a lot, but at least first we need the space for people to think out of box. So whenever we are in Hong Kong, when we want to host or organize a program, we'll have a workshop for everybody to come together and brainstorm. So first of all, it's a space for everybody to think and to know what we want to do. Secondly, we do have some groups or some events that help us to achieve what we want to do. In general speaking, I think youth empowerment is for all the young people to make good use of our potential and to achieve something and then to contribute to our community.
Fantastic. Textbook answer there, Alvin, and something that I hear a lot of in the YMCA, in Hong Kong all the way over to Brazil, to Canada, to Iceland. It just seems that's what everybody's doing. So that's a great answer. My next question, I guess, is what is YMCA Hong Kong doing that really? What projects have they got that are really empowering young people?
We have social services. We have youth groups, Campus YMCA. We have groups for ethnic minorities, meaning we do have, other than Chinese, we do have some other Southeast Asians living in Hong Kong. So we have some groups for them. We have schools, we have sports facilities. And for me, I spend most of the time in the youth groups, that is the Campus YMCA. So we organize different kind of social services locally and internationally. the most important, I would say the biggest events we organized last year must be the International Youth Symposium in Hong Kong.
Okay, and how many people attended that symposium?
Well, a total of over 250 youth from
Wow.
around the world. This is the first time in the past 10 years YMCA of Hong Kong have an really international youth symposium. We have friends from most of the continents, so it is really a great chance to meet different people from all over the world. And when we think about the theme, it's all started last year, at the beginning of last year, when we start thinking about change agents. We have space, transformations, and impact. So we know that in YMCA of Hong Kong, we have the strength of creating space for young people, but we want more. We want young people to have transformations. So we pick the theme of transformation as our theme. And in more concrete, we put youth's convergency and determination to transform the world. That means we do not just speak, or we do not just talk. We also do some actions that help our communities. So that's the whole idea of the symposium.
Absolutely fantastic. And is there another symposium this year at all, Alvin?
Well, I hope so, but as I told you, it's really not easy to organize such kind of big events. So we are looking forward to have some more youth events. But I can assure that we are going to organize the World Challenge in 2014, and that will bring our youth together for a common goal.
Fantastic. So it really seems like Hong Kong, as well as having a local or a national focus, that you're really engaged with the global movement. I keep hearing this, World Challenge, and we're international, the word coming in. So it's really good that is a focus of YMCA Hong Kong. That it's not just about Hong Kong. It's about more. I really like that.
Yeah. Every year we have social service trips for university students to go overseas, especially for those developing countries in Asia, so that they can learn about the lives in those countries and the culture, heritage, and not just for visiting, they will also do some hard work for those places. For example, a group of young people, we went to Myanmar last year, Vietnam. We built a library for the YMCA and also for a local community there.
Wow.
So every time when we go to a place, we do not just want to visit. We also want to do something that can bring good changes in the local communities.
That's fantastic, that, Alvin. Anything else you want to share with me, or
to share one of my own experience?
That would be great.
So in 2013, last year, just 1 year before, I went to Thailand. It was partly for my own work. So I work in Thailand, but I also contact the YMCA in Chiang Rai, one of the cities in Thailand. And I spent 3 months to join the work camp, youth camp with the local communities there. So I really enjoyed that experience. We fundraise on the streets, and also we visit hospitals. We have children camps. We went to teach children English and also some health information in some small villages. So that is an example as a social service trip, and also it was a really good experience for myself.
Absolutely great. And I guess if anybody's wanting to know more about the work in the YMCA of Hong Kong, Alvin, is there a Twitter account or a Facebook page that people can like?
Yes, of course. The Facebook page, just YMCA of Hong Kong.
Okay, great. And do you have a Twitter account, or?
Oh, no.
No Twitter account just yet. Well, that's great. So last quick question, Alvin. Have you got a message for the listeners, or a message to people in the YMCA, particularly young people in the YMCA?
Okay, I would say YMCA is a good place for you, just like the YMCA song goes. And I think if you really want to do something, and if you have your own spirit, if you have your idea, so you're always welcome to come to the YMCA and just try to do it. If you have your dream, then you can achieve it.
Absolutely fantastic. Alvin, thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to looking at some of your work online and seeing you later in the year at Colorado and, Skyping, keeping in contact. So thanks a lot for your time, Alvin.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Lenka and I am from YMCA Bosnia. You're listening to YPod.
My name is Cain Hill. I'm a volunteer with the Victorian YMCA in Australia. My journey with the Y has been filled with fun people and crazy great experiences. I want to take this moment to share my story with you, as well as some of my favourite YMCA initiatives that you might not know about. 6 years ago, as a young guy living in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, I joined one of the YMCA's youth program's Youth Parliament. As part of this, I was given the chance to talk in State Parliament alongside 120 passionate young thinkers, where we developed our ideas for how we could improve our community. But what does that mean? Well, we were a policy think tank powered by young people, and our ideas went straight to the politicians. I could not believe it. The YMCA and the State Parliament wanted my opinion? This ended up being such an intoxicating idea that I joined the team of volunteer organisers who run this initiative. I wanted to give back to the program that helped me discover my self-confidence. So in my last year as an organiser, I went big and ran the largest social media campaign ever planned for Youth Parliament, comprising of a YouTube mini-series, a set of commercials, and Youth Parliament's first ever live internet broadcast. By working with Youth Parliament's past participants, supporters, and new technologies, we shared our participant stories with around 20,000 supporters online. It has always confused me that few people know about this incredible program, so I made it my mission to share it with as many people as possible. In 2011, my Youth Parliament experience was made richer by sharing it with my university friends. I created the first Swinburne University team to participate in Youth Parliament so that a classmate and good friend of mine, Michael, could fight for better support for carers of people with disabilities. It was like magic to see my friend give his first speech in Parliament, just as I had a couple of years before. 120 participants, the lawmakers of our state and audience members listened as Michael explained how being a carer sometimes interferes with his opportunities at work and school. All I could think of as it happened was that this singular YMCA initiative had made a moment like that possible. And there are so many more YMCA programs out there that I couldn't wait to discover. I'm going to tell you a bit about what I found. I left Youth Parliament to see the other ways the YMCA is reaching out to our communities. I didn't have to look too far because the same division that runs Youth Parliament also runs other recreational camps that sounded extraordinary. Before long, I was leading Camping Adventures, which is a 5-day camping adventure during the school holidays for kids. As well as being incredible amounts of fun, the camp incorporates self-development goals that guide its campers to discover new friends, confidence, and leadership skills. During this camp, and so many others, I've had the privilege of meeting some of the most incredible people you could ever meet. I've met Einsteins, hipsters, rebels, musos, artists, and future community leaders. I've had the privilege of watching people find their voice and find understanding in YMCA communities. Meeting these people has been such a gift, but the YMCA didn't stop there. It impressed me further when I was invited to lead on Heads Together, which is a 3-day residential camping program for families who have a child with an acquired brain injury. Unlike any other camp I'd led on, the families who attended had built friendships and support networks that existed beyond the camp. I was there to help my friend Evan, another YMCA volunteer, to create a video montage so the families could take their experience home with them. Now I could have used the sleep, but Evan and I spent the whole last night editing and making delirious lame jokes. But during that camp, I had the chance to witness the love and support of Heads Together families, once in real life and once more while replaying the camera footage. And it was the best feeling to know that my friends and I were part of making those moments happen. The YMCA is so big that it's hard to know every part of it, which is why I'm telling you about all this great stuff. Because few people listening to this will know about these programs. I encourage you to go out there and find out more. Maybe volunteer on one of them. And the next time someone says the Y is just pools and gyms, tell them they don't know the half of it. I'm Cain Hill, and that's my story.
Thank you, Cain, for your My Story, and we'll move on to segments that is slowly becoming my favourite, Ask the Movement. And so every week we set a question that we ask the movement and get your feedback from it. So Adrian, what was this week's question?
This week's question, Gaz, was which fictional, i.e. not real character, would have been best suited to the YMCA and why?
Okay.
I
sense there's going to be some good ones here.
Well, I often feel when people kind of put forward a character, they're almost looking at themselves.
Absolutely.
Just because of some of the answers we had. And
no, I agree.
we got a lot of people walking around with big egos in this movement. Okay, so there's some really good answers this week. Somebody put Kermit, but then didn't explain why. Kermit the Frog. Household name, I guess. Somebody put Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She and her diverse group of allies fought for the underdogs, justice, and a better world. Okay.
Okay.
We had Robin Hood. He finds money and distributes it to the needs.
It's not really finds, he stole money. Stole money.
We had Buzz Lightyear, because he would always be light years ahead of everybody else, and he would have taken the YMCA with him, leaving all other organisations behind.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody not really into networking there. We had Tintin.
Hey, I like Tintin. Or, as I keep being corrected by my French friends, it's Tantan. Tantan. That's how you're supposed to say it. Tantan. But I love him.
Yeah, a great character. And the reason was he was very kind, but a little naive.
Yes.
Okay. We had Storm from the X-Men. Because when she needs water, she can produce water. So I guess there's somebody thinking about, say, sending rainwater to countries that need it, stopping the crazy weather at festivals. So I guess that's somebody who was in Prague last year.
Does sound that way, doesn't it? Does sound that way.
We had Alice from Alice in Wonderland. As the YMCA is a place where people come across such wonders.
Amen. I like that one.
A lot of people say Spider-Man, Superman, the Avengers, Superwoman. Again, the old cliches of with great power comes great responsibility, because we have to do everything, because you feel like you have to be Superman to get things done. So a lot of people went for the superheroes.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
A couple of team references like the X-Men and the Avengers, so an emphasis on people working in teams.
An emphasis on networking.
We had Super Ted.
Super Ted?
Yes. Super
awesome.
Ted. Do you want to explain to the international audience who Super Ted is?
So, what you have to understand is this is a 28-year-old lad about to talk about a cartoon he used to watch when he was 4 that he absolutely loved. Super Ted was a teddy bear that, for some unbeknown reason, was thrown away like a piece of rubbish. Then one day, a spotty man came along, found him, brought him to life, took him to Mother Nature, who gave him special powers, and when he whispered a secret word, he became Super Ted. And so, I think as an organisation that on occasions can be seen as, being I've had to explain what I mean, but Super Ted's a really good reference for the YMCA because, he was a teddy bear that was thrown away like a piece of rubbish, but was given the opportunity and the chance to become super. And he did. And he was brilliant.
That's
And
great. Great.
you can tell I'm a fan.
Yeah, and a good reference in terms of maybe young people or participants who come to the YMCA and feel down on life and get that opportunity. So yeah, good one, really good one.
Absolutely. But it does realise that we then become Spotty Man, don't you? We've become the Spotty Man. We're not Super Ted, we're Spotty Man.
Anyway, enough of Super Ted.
Do you know what? I think less YMCA, more Super Ted, in my opinion.
Well, we also had the young boy from the movie Pay It Forward.
Yes.
Because Superman is unreal, but Tom, he was just an average boy where he worked positively to impact those around him. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that one's very good because although I don't know, you said a fictional character, which he is, but he embodies something that's very real, especially to all of us. Especially, I hope to all of us in the YMCA.
We also had Jean Valjean from Les Mis. He was empowered to get out of a terrible place in his life and then committed his life to helping others to do the same. Fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one.
We had somebody wrote the astronauts who went to the moon. It's not a fictional character, but I'm going to let them off because they had a great explanation. And their explanation was, we all know the YMCA has reached somewhere, but is that enough? Or maybe we need to send our astronauts to Mars now. Since we can't talk about the past always, it's time to move forward with the times. Deep stuff. You're clapping. Gareth's clapping. Fantastic answer.
I do like that one. Yes, I think as a movement, as a whole, we should always be looking forwards. I mean, we have a great history to fall back on, but we should always be looking forwards. Bigger and better.
Absolutely.
Onwards and upwards.
And my comment of the week this week, Gareth, is somebody wrote, a wise man, and then in brackets, Dumbledore, once said, help shall be given at the YMCA to anybody who asks for it.
Did he specifically say YMCA?
No, he put Hogwarts, but then he wrote YMCA in brackets. But that's just fantastic. Fantastic answer. And it's good that people feel that.
Amen.
So that is all I have for this week, Gareth.
Thank you very much for that, Adrian. And thank you very much for everyone who sent in an answer, particularly that person in the UK who said Super Ted. Whoever you are, thank you. So next week, we'll submit another question. There'll be another question for next week, but we want you to still keep on giving your answers on social media using the hashtag YPod and any other comments that you'd like to make. I think that's it for this week, Adrian. Is there anything you'd like to say?
My final thought, Gareth, it's just nice. I mean, especially listening to the story of Cain today and the interview, and just again the Ask the Movement segment. It's so good to see that even with 58 million people, that people really have this sense of belonging, and people feel the same. I mean, it's amazing. A lot of people in a lot of countries feel like they're either Superman or Superwoman.
No, I'd like to echo that thought. I think the point made around the astronauts was a very profound and a very one that hit me greatly, because we as an organisation should be moving forward. We should be, we have a great history to lean back on, but always should be looking forward. What more can we do? Bigger, better, more sustainable, And as a wise man once said, Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond, and that's what we should be aiming for.
Great stuff. Well, I shall see you next week, Gareth.
Yeah, hopefully so, Adrian. All right, have a nice week.
Take care. Goodbye.